It has been less than a day since the debate between Vice President Mike Pence and wannabe Vice President Kamala Harris. And we have seen a disparate amount of, mixed messaging from the fake news media, as well as coming apart at the seams if you look at the way that a lot of MSN people are really reacting to this debate. But as I can show you right now, we are seeing a debate in which they're separated by plexiglass, so they can't really stare each other in the eye, which is an important component of Mike Pence because he has such a straight face. But at the same time, if you look at the split screen, it's also very important to notice how Kamala makes her ugly face gestures. Now, I did cover this yesterday with Red Eagle Politics and others about how Kamala looks like a brown Pepe or something like that, and she just looks unoptical, whereas Mike Pence kind of has the look of a vice president, but he also has the character as well as the delivery in his voice, frankly, to kind of set the tone in a way that he comes off as the nice guy. And I've heard from other people that he's out SJWing the left, and I see what they're saying, as in, no, he's not being a cuck, he's not being a fag or anything, but he is kind of concern trolling a little bit, but in a very subtle way, which might come off as douchey or something to the left, but in terms of the undecideds will look good. As others have said before, this will soften up the image of the actual president, Donald Trump, and I think that Kamala Harris did nothing for Joe Biden. This was really a referendum as to how she is as a person, and she came off, at least to me as a right-winger myself, as very insincere and even laughing at one point at an ISIS victim family. So it was really weird. And she was not laughing, but she was smiling in a sort of way. She was really just pitching it up to an extent, right? And I thought that was really weird. And you see how she reacts, right? The condescending nature does not rub off well. She had some canned performances, whether that be the line of, "Oh, I am speaking, Mr. Vice President, I am speaking," sounding like a complete nag, right? So she comes off very unnatural to that. And ironically, for such a colored woman, you would think, the way she speaks and such is in a way that it's like pandering openly to the white liberal woman. And I feel as if Hillary Clinton went to this debate with blackface on or something, because they come off very similar to each other. But, and it's even more obvious because now the electorate was exposed to a condescending, power-thirsty woman running for presidential office pretty much, and here it is. But this time she's younger and she's more diverse, but that's not really a good thing, is it, when you're running with Sleepy Joe at the top of the ticket, which is really a weird paradox we're in nowadays, because this debate could be a foreshadowing of the presidential debate in 2024. If you think about it, we see a presumptive future nominee, Mike Pence perhaps, in his working for Donald right now, but, if Donald wins or doesn't win, he could still run in 2024 and win the nomination, right? And if he does that, he may debate Kamala Harris, who, if Joe Biden wins, may become the president, or at least the nominee in 24, and this would be an interesting prospect. Now, a lot of people already know, right, left, and center, that Kamala Harris is out there for herself. And, you may hate Donald Trump a lot, but nobody likes Kamala in particular. She is to the far left, she's a prosecutor, and to the center, she is a former socialist, wanted to get rid of private insurance. She wanted to phase that out. She wanted to increase taxes. She wanted to introduce the Green New Deal. She did actually introduce the Green New Deal in the Senate, and she's very far left. But the way the MSN is pitching this is like she's moderate. And the fact is that with the given coverage of the debate, you would obviously notice that she is not winning. Why is she not winning? Because what are we talking about? When you look at Joe Biden's YouTube channel, you can see that there's a 1-minute ad of her doing while-ish. All cut out, obviously, out of context, and that is it. if you had a good debate, you'd have several minutes of good talking points, but she only had 1.5 minutes tops. So it goes to show how bad she did. And a lot of people were bored with this debate, and, if you look at the Twitter trends again, it's already out of the news cycle, which means that the MSN could not spin this well. This means that Pence did win the debate, as well as he did also kind of obfuscate over a lot of the errors of the Trump administration, debatably, and also she dodged a lot of questions, which leads the MSN to say, well, the Democrat lied a lot, but also the Republican lied a little bit, so therefore both of them lied. So as you can see, they're giving the benefit of the doubt to the vice presidential candidate Harris over the Republican virtually every time, even though a lot of people call Mike Pence an evangelocon and neocon, but still they're against him almost as much as they are for Orange Man. So as you can see there, and then the neocons and the Never Trumpers from 2016 did like the debate. I saw Ben Shapiro talking about this, saying that this is what Mike Pence is what the Trump administration would look like without the tweeting, and it's beautiful. Again, so a lot of people that do not like Donald Trump's brash nature for whatever reason, if they're being gay about it, whatever, that's up to them, but they seem to like Mike Pence. So this is coalescing, and most Republicans like this. From the angle of the center right, it's, we have a guy with integrity, and he's not brash, and he's a gentleman, and he's conservative. I like that. Then from the far right, you can say, well, electric fence Pence is anti-gay, which we like, and also he's America first. He said that, and he's also very, the Nick Fuentes types will mention this, that he's optical, right? He is quiet, but he holds the same beliefs that most people do in the right wing, which is a good thing. So again, it's a very important distinction to see, because in the presidential debate, the first one at least so far, we've seen a brash, high-energy bully Trump versus a Mike Pence who is subdued, calm, optical, and logical, and you have, but lower energy, of course, and then you have Joe Biden, who is low energy and boring, or he's high energy and incoherent and old. When you go down to Kamala Harris, she is weird, she is kind of condescending, younger, more diverse, more entertaining perhaps, but she is still unlikable by the right wing. Kamala Harris, trust me, is not moving anybody from the right wing to the left, whereas maybe Joe Biden could be pitched as a moderate. Kamala is harder to peg down as such, even however much the CNN types want to paint her as a moderate Democrat, which she just frankly is not. Again, Mike Pence was smart in bringing in the Green New Deal, the universal health care, not, single-payer health care, getting rid of your employer-based insurance, a lot of other things like this, as well as bringing up that they're going to raise taxes, and they're going to reverse the tax cuts on day one again. So that's another thing. Now, one thing I would want to cover from this debate that was a travesty and was frankly unfortunate for Mike Pence, and he didn't deserve this to happen. But as you can see right here, at some point in the debate, there was a fly that flew on his head, and that was really too bad. And this moderator, Susan, did not shut up, and she did not relent in giving Kamala more speaking time, cutting off the vice president at any moment pretty much, and was even more biased than Chris Wallace, debatably, just that she wasn't as, manly, obviously, so not as effective, but still the moderator was biased for Kamala. All the mods, the whole establishment really is oriented towards the Biden-Kamala side over the Trump-Pence side, unfortunately, and that's a big problem. But still, Pence overpowered the woman, and he kept steady, and he did not get confused once. He did not break character. He did not blow his top. He did not let the steam loose. He is very calculated, and it worked, and it really did work. And even though he did not get too many gotchas in this, he really just slowly cooked her over, boiled her over, just death from 1,000 paper cuts. He slowly dismantled her through facts and logic, like how Ben Shapiro would say, and he kind of completely eviscerated her opinion. And like he used to say in this debate, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to the facts. And it sounded pretty good, pretty optical. You see his face, and it sounds like the voice. But at the same time, again, there's the problem of the fly. And Joe Biden released a fly swatter a fly swatter for Mike Pence, and it's some stupid gimmick, and they only really can hold on to the fact that some fly got on his head that he didn't recognize was there, only, because she lost so bad. So again, if Mike Pence really lost the debate, then they would be covering this day after day after day after day. So again, pretty interesting information that we can dissect from this. Now we have some other sources to cover too. On Twitter, we can see that the trending already went, and I swear on my yesterday, not even 15 hours ago, there was almost all of these, like a dozen of these trends going at Mike Pence about the vice presidential debate, hitting on Trump again, the whatever. But now we're on to the next thing. All right, guys. So as you can see, if they were really winning at this thing, if they were really winning the debate, they would not stop talking about it in less than 24 hours. But again, these people are losing bigly. Okay? Again, we are really kind of, we are just in a position where we did win this, but again, we cannot live it up too much publicly because the MSN is not giving us the time of day. Alright, so as you can see, the Pence win is solidified by the fact that the fake news won't cover it past the day that it happened. And as you can see, YouGov, which is probably still slanting blue, can see that Mike Pence is doing okay. He may be losing a lot of the polls, but those polls are rigged. And I can't find a CNN poll, but he did good. You can see that 50% see him as a strong leader, whereas his approval rating is 43.6%, meaning that he outperformed what people think of him usually. So that's a good thing. Again, this is also pretty cool stuff, guys. I frankly think that this is kind of I would say that this was a good foil between the brash Donald Trump, which I love, by the way, and the subdued Pence that still got the job done. He is an ideal vice president. He was a great pick, and I think he did win the debate. And again, I had my expectations for Pence at a 6 out of 10 and Kamala at a 4, but I think this came off as a Pence 7 out of 10 and a Kamala 3 out of 10, or maybe I'll go even a step further. I think Pence did an 8 out of 10 and Kamala did a 3 out of 10 or something, because Pence did not make a single large mistake in this debate. Kamala had blunder after blunder, did not answer the Supreme Court question well. She dodged a lot of other questions. She probably dodged like 4 or 5 questions actually, whereas Pence probably dodged 1 or 2. So he came off a lot more genuine, I believe, at least to me. But I am biased towards Donald Trump and Pence. But at the same time, again, will this change the election? I think this increased the Trump-Pence ticket's chances to win the election by 1% or 2, less than 5%. The vice presidential debates normally don't matter, but I believe this one mattered more than most. But that's not saying much, and tens of millions of people still ended up watching this, and I think that Pence garnered more Trump voters in most states by, let's say, a couple thousand. Okay, so I think this will very marginally help the president, and so, I mean, this is a good thing. Okay, Pence won outright. Electric fence Pence. I'm Pence posting. He did well. Do I support him for president in 2024? Meh. I don't know. We have to see the options, right? Let's chomp around first. Anyways, guys, Kamala got destroyed. Pence won. America first. MAGA. Whatever. Let's keep going. Subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.